defined route. And what is a user defined route? By default, system route the traffic to one VNet to another VNet, or one VM to another VM, or directly it will communicate it. But we don't want like the traffic will flow like that. Why? Because of, generally for security reasons, like we'll keep it to the firewall in hub network. So example, again I'm repeating here, try to understand. If you have any question, let me know. Okay, so here generally real time what will do it, hub and spoke topology will use it, I mentioned. So in the hub network, VPN gateway and a firewall and Azure Bastion is like any other, sometimes we'll keep it the in hub network only. Windows Server Active Directory also, or separate subscription, separate VNet will keep it. Okay, depends on requirement. Okay, and other spoke networks will keep it to the our day-to-day workloads, everything. Day-to-day workloads, everything will keep it into the under spoke network. This spoke network is a subnets will created. Under the subnets, VMs is available. VMs is available. So these VMs directly will communicate to the on premises. How it will communicate? Because of VNet peering is available. That means from this spoke network to via VNet peering, it will come. The traffic, it won't flow the firewall by default until unless we need to define it. The traffic should flow to the firewall. After that only communicate to the VPN gateway. But here normally is a VM, it will communicate to the via VNet peering to this virtual network gateway. That means this VPN, and after that go to the outside. Even from on-prem to what traffic is getting from VPN, and directly it will communicate to the respective VM through VNet peering. But we don't require the traffic should go via like this. We require the traffic should flow via firewall. Through firewall only we required. So in this scenario, we are defining that route, how needs to be flow the traffic. How the traffic needs to be flow, we are defining. That's the reason we are going to associate the UDR, user route table. This is a called route table. We can see here in the, like, in the virtual network, like in Azure portal, we can see the route table. So that route table, how to associate the subnet level, and how the traffic will flow, we'll look into that. Okay, so just a minute. So coming to here, so the traffic, it should not flow via firewall. So all the we are going to define it. The traffic should flow via firewall only. We require the on-premises also, the traffic via firewall. Through that needs to be communicated to the VM, like that we require. Even that spoke 1 to spoke 2, it won't communicate by default because of we don't have VNet peering between these two spoke networks. So in this scenario, the traffic needs to be communicate means even UDR we can define it in the firewall, and firewall we can define the rules. We can define the rules. The traffic needs to be communicate like this. So we can define the rules so that through firewall it will communicate each other. So totally the traffic, how is the flowing, we are going to define it ourselves. That's the reason we are calling the user defined route. This is a called route table, guys. This is a called route tables. Okay, any questions on route tables?
Okay.
So in this scenario, what I'm going to show you the practical here, I'm going to show you the one VNet and three subnets. I'm going to take it, and three subnets is a each. This is a one VM, VM1, you can take it. This is a VM2, we can take it. Another one is a, I'm going to take it the NVA, that means network virtual appliance. So that is a, instead of firewall, I'm going to a network virtual appliance. That means third party firewall, anything we can call the NVA, network virtual appliance. Okay. So now by default, normally VM1 to VM2 it will communicate it. If VM2 to VM1 also it will communicate it. But I'm going to associate the route table. After that, the traffic will go to the via NVA. It will communicate to the destination after associating the route table. But VM2 we are not associating. So that means VM2 directly it will communicate it. If it is required, again we are going to associate the route table here, and accordingly the traffic also will go to the network virtual appliance. After that it will communicate to the VM1. So totally this is a one I'm going to show you the practical. Okay, understood what I'm going to show you the practical here?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, understood.
Yes, yes, Kiran.
Okay. Okay. So here I'm going to deploy the virtual network, create a virtual network. So that subscription and resource group, and VNet I'm going to create a VNet 01, and East US2 I'm taken. So 10.0.0.16. Okay, and default one subnet I'm getting subnet 01. I'm giving the name and save it, as well as add subnet 02. So here 10.0.1.0/24, add it, and one more subnet 3 10.0.0.2.0/24, add it, and remaining as it is, review and created. So click on create. And go to the home. Again, it's a deploy the 3 virtual machines we required. I'm going to deploy the virtual machines. So resource group. Here I'm giving the VM1, East US2 I required. So here no redundancy, and here Windows Server I'm going to taking, and remaining as it is. I don't want any other big size VMs, and user ID and password none, and disk. Here nothing changes. In the networking, I need to choose the VNet 1 and subnet 1. I require the public IP address. Why? Because of, I don't have VPN or anything. Due to that, I'm taking the public IP address. So here nothing changes. Here disable and review and created. And create. So same like one more VM2, I'm going to deploy it. That is one also. Don't save it, and go back to home, and one more VM, create virtual machine. So here same subscription resource group VM2 I'm giving. NVA later on we'll discuss. So I will deploy it. So first of all, we'll deploy the VM1, VM2. So none, and disk network. Here it's I need to select the subnet 3 I required in the VM2. It should be available under subnet 3, and this is a one public IP address I'm taking, none, and remaining same, remaining same. Here disable, review and created. So creating the virtual machine. Okay, same like one more VM, that is a NVA I'm going to create it. So here I'm giving the NVA 01. So here is TS2, and here nothing I don't want is a zone redundancy. So Windows Server, nothing changes. AG admin, user ID and password, keep it none. Nested disk, networking here, subnet 2, I'm selecting guys, subnet 2, and public IP address, keep it basic 0, basic, and none here, and remaining same. Here disable and review and created. One thing here, I don't want public IP address NVA. Even if it is a keep it the public IP address also, that's not a problem. Let me keep it none. Okay.
Kiran, NVA is like cloud firewall as right?
It's a kind of we can generally we can from marketplace we'll deploy the third party firewall. Okay,
Okay.
third party firewall as a virtual machine wise we'll get it, but I'm not going to take it the as a third party firewall here, just as a virtual machine I'm going to deploying. But as a NVA, how is the network functionality? It's a forward the traffic, and it will route the traffic wise, it will work. Those things I'm going to change it here. Okay.
Mm.
Actually, marketplace we can deploy it, but marketplace images means we need to pay much cost. I don't want. That's the reason normal VM I'm deploying. That is a converted as a how we can convert it as a NVA. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Okay. In this, you are going to learn how to IP forwarding from Windows Server, and how what are the things you need to change it. One thing you can learn here, and other thing normally concept wise route table you can learn, and other than that it's how is a defined specific destination here, and how the traffic will flow. Other than that, using the firewall how the traffic will flow, it's a different way we can provide it in the rule in the route table. Okay.
Got it.
There is a three things you can understand in this concept.
So in real time, we used to use a firewall here, right? Instead of firewall, we are
Sometimes
going.
sometimes you won't use the firewall also, depends on your organization. Might be your organization not using the firewall, what you will do?
Like they totally dependent on NSG, I think.
Yeah,
NSG, ASG.
it's a depends on organization to organization. We
Okay.
can't define it. Okay. Okay. Almost is a all VMs is a deploy. Let's go to one by one. Just a minute, guys. So okay. Here VM1 I'm going and trying to connect the RDB, that virtual machine, and download the file and trying to connect the this virtual machine. So here AG admin, I'm giving the name and my username and password, trying to connect it. This virtual machine is a connecting. Okay. Same like other virtual machine. VM2 and RDB. connect, trying to download the things here. AG admin, user ID and password. So two VMs is connected here. It's connecting. Just a minute. Okay, coming to here and virtual machine 2 also it's a connected, and NVA will try to connect it. That is we are not given the public IP address. That's the reason we need to connect to the private IP address. I can show you 10.1.0.1.4. That is a one. Let's go to the VM1, and generally real time will some most of the companies will use the Windows firewall means, and they can create a Windows firewall rules. If you are not using, you can turn off the firewall. Okay, but in our scenario I'm going to turn off the firewall. So here firewall is a turn off here. Why? Because of even it won't allow to the ping also. That's the reason. So in our scenario, I'm trying to turn off the firewalls. Windows firewall, I'm going to turn off. But if you are using the Windows firewall, you should create a rules, guys. Windows firewall rules, you need to allow it so that only it will communicate it. Otherwise, it won't communicate it. Okay. Yes, turn off, turn off. Okay. Let me open the command prompt here. Here, I will go to the properties, font size, I will try to increase it. So here you can try to check what is the IP address, IP config 10.0.0.10.0.2.4. So try to ping the 10.0.0.0.4. That is a one first VM IP address. So this is a one VM one IP address. This is a one. I can show you. So here go to the first VM, and in this also command prompt, let me open. And the font size, let me increase it. I keep it here. So this is also IP config. Let me show you 10.0.0.4 and trying to ping. So 10.0.2.4. It's a pinging. Okay. But how the traffic is flowing? That is the one we want. Yes. Now in the same VNet, different subnets, the traffic directly it will route. So that command is a traceset. Traceset. TRACE RT traceset command, and that IP address 10.0.2.4. Enter. So you can see, guys, here what's going on. That VM directly it's a communicating. So VM2 directly it's a communicating here. You can observe here VM2 directly it's a communicating here. Same thing if I'm trying to check it from VM2 to VM1. So how is the traceset command, using that how the traffic is flowing we can check it here 0.4 if you given, and directly it's a communicating VM1. But actually our requirement, it should not go to the directly, it should not communicate to the VM1 to VM2, VM2 to VM1. I don't want. So in this scenario what we are going to do, like NVA it's going to configure, and route tables we are going to associate, so that the traffic will flow via network virtual appliance. After that only VM1, or after that only VM2 it needs to be communicated. We are going to define it. Okay, so that's the reason. First of all, NVA we need to configure it. So let me try to connect the NVA virtual machine from this VM1. I'm trying to connect it. You can try from VM2 also, no problem at all. 10.0.1.4, that is a VM1 IP address. So I'm trying to connect it. because of both in the same network. That's the reason we can able to connect the VM NVA application, NVA server also we can able to communicate it. So let's minimize and connect it. So 10.0.1.4 I'm trying to connect it guys here. So it's a loading, just a minute. So for normally any server, it won't forward the traffic. Normally any server, it won't forward the traffic. Normally appliance, network virtual appliance, that means it's a kind of firewalls only, it will forward the traffic. But this is a normal as a virtual machine, I deployed it. So the traffic needs to be forward. So what should I do? In the OS level, I need to change the restrict key so that OS level it will forward it. But Azure level also forward the traffic wise. In the network interface card level, I'm going to change the some settings. Let's focus on this, how I'm changing. So first of all, firewall is a turn off. Okay. And after that, Windows R and restrict edit changes REG. Okay. REG EDIT edit. Ridge edit. I'm giving the command here in the run command. So it open the restrict key and go to the local machine, go to the system and the current control set, and under that, 1 minute, services, under that TCP IP, under TCP IP again is a parameters, scroll here, and under TCP under no I think interfaces, there is a network interface. So here I think I'm wrong here. Parameters, yes, in the parameters only, it's a IP enabled router. This is a one by default 0. 0 means it won't forward the traffic. It won't act as a router. It won't act as a router. If you want act as a router wise, so you need to double click on that, give the 1. Value is a 1. Hexadecimal value wise 1 I'm providing. That means it's a enabling IP enabled router. IP enabled router I'm enabling guys. Observe. So what I performed it, go to local mission and system, current control set, services, TCP IP and parameters. Under parameters, IP enabled router is a enabled. How enabled? Double click on that and provide the value is a 1. Instead of 0, I provide the 1. Okay, that's it. Nothing changes happen. And just as I'm logging out from the NVA application server, NVA server. Okay, so that is a log off. Go to the portal level. This is a NVA server. Go to the networking and network interface card and IP configuration. Here you can see guys, IP forwarding. I'm going to enable. By default is a disable. So the traffic, how forwarding means we are enabling here as well as OS level. I'm enable IP enable router and enable and route the traffic. Okay. These two things is a very important guys. Understood? And one more point you need to understand here. Any network changes, if you perform in the virtual machine level, if you change the anything, IP address or DNS or anything, that server needs to be identified. These changes means required the reboot guys, required the reboot. Without reboot it won't identify it. So that's the reason I'm going to reboot the this virtual machine. So what are the points you learn guys here? Any network changes, you must and should reboot the virtual machine. Network changes means that network interface card level, any changes you are doing, and or network VNet level also, if you are changing the like the custom DNS or something and require the reboot, require the reboot. Okay, and one thing, and OS level, I perform the IP enable router and keep it 1. That means it will act as a router. And as well as in the network interface card level, IP forwarding enable guys. Understood? Any questions on this up to now? So our NVA mission is ready. VM1, VM2 directly it's a communicating. Right now I don't want. So what should I do? I need to create a route table and associate. So route table I'm searching here. Route tables you can see here. The, that symbol also user and defining the route how is a flow, that is a arrow mark wise. So here create a route table and I'm specifying the resource group and location is TS2 I required and name is a here I'm going to give the UDR something 01 like that I'm providing. Here propagate gateway routes. What is the mean? If it is a keep it as that routes is a over the internet expose. The routes it's exposed to the over the internet. If you keep it no, what will happen? The route won't expose the over the internet. Within the organization only it will work. Within the organization, all the routing it will happen. Okay, it won't expose the over the internet. That is the difference here, guys. Try to understand. Okay, so I'm going to keep it as right now in this scenario, but real time generally most of the scenarios will keep it no. If you keep it as means you need to that it will treat that virtual machine treat or energy it will treat you are getting the traffic from over the internet. So you need to create a energy rules. You need to create a energy rules. If you keep it no in any specific scenario and routes is a within the organization only routing and keep it no need to create any energy rules automatically within the vnets and generating azure platform only the traffic is getting, so it's not required the any create a rules in the energy, guys. Okay, so here route table I'm creating a review and created. Just creating it will work? No, we need to associate that route tables. We need to integration part also we need to do it, and rule also we need to create it. Rules also we need to create it, guys. Let's wait for a few seconds. It's a creating the route table. So route table deployment in progress. Just a minute. Sorry. Yes, route table is a deployment completed, guys. Okay, go to the still it's showing here. Let's wait for almost yes completed. Go to the resource. Route table is ready. Just a minute. So here I'm going to create a routes and add route name is a rule one like that I'm providing, but real time you can depends on a requirement. You can give the naming convention here. Selected source IP address prefix destination IP address or service tag. The destination how the traffic needs to be flow. I'm going to define it 10.0.2.0/24. In case of this is a destination. In case of this is a destination, that traffic first go to the network virtual appliance. That virtual appliance, what is the IP address 10.0.1.4. Okay, so that means any traffic going to destination, this is a range. First of all, you need to go to the this hub. That means network virtual appliance. After that only go to the this destination we are defining. Okay. So add, now adding the route. So here where we need to associate this rule we need to associate to the subnet 1. Why? Because of from subnet 1 any traffic is going to subnet 3. That means subnet 3 IP address range only we are given. So that's the reason subnet 3 related traffic, if it is a subnet 1 to subnet 3, if it is going the traffic, go to the subnet 2 of that network virtual appliance, like that we define it. That's the reason. Okay. So here route table also we associate. Now the traffic won't flow via directly, it won't communicate to the VM1 to VM2, it won't communicate it. It will communicate VM1 to network virtual appliance. After that only it will communicate to the VM2 guys. Any questions up to now?
No, Kiran.
So let's go to the VMs and check the traffic. So sometimes it won't immediately applicable guys. So just wait for a few seconds. It will work and you can check it. Trace it. Right now still it's not working. That means you need to wait few minutes and definitely it should be work. Whenever we associate the energy or route tables or anything like this, and it won't applicable immediately guys, that rules also immediately it won't applicable. It will take little bit time to applicable. You can see now the traffic is flowing via NVA. After that only going the VM2. Understood?
Yes, Kiran.
So first it's going to NVA, after that only VM2. So now question is, suppose I know the destination. I know the destination, I know the virtual appliance, so I provided. But in the real time, in case of that scenario also you will get it. In case of firewall, but destination you don't know. It needs to be communicate different destination like on premises or Azure platform only different spokes and everything. In this scenario, how this address space will define it? How this address space will define it? Which address space I'm talking about? Destination address range. The destination address range, how will define it? You don't know the IP address range. Got it what I'm saying?
Yes.
Kiran, repeat
So,
it once again.
so what I'm asking, so I know the source from this VM, the traffic is going, but right now I know that is a subnet 2, a subnet 3 related traffic only. It's a communicating. I know the destination. I am providing the destination IP range, and due to that, it's a communicating via network virtual appliance. After that only, it's a communicating to the destination. Yes.
Yes.
But real time, you have on premises, you have it's a Azure platform, different spoke networks, which every time it won't go to the specific VM. Yes, might
Yes.
be different people, different servers and different application. It will communicate everything. It will happen. In this scenario, destination is a very variety of so many resource destinations is available. In this scenario, which IP address range I need to provide it? Got it? What I'm saying?
Yes, Kiran.
So what is the IP address we need to provide it here?
0.0.0.0.
0.0.0
/0 it is.
/0. This /0 we need to provide it.
Yes.
This is a correct 0.0.0.0/0 we need to provide it. That means destination is a any, but should go to the virtual appliance. After that only needs to be communicated. Destination is a any, the traffic should go to the first virtual appliance. After that only communicate to the any destination. Understood now?
Yes, Kiran.
So this is about totally guys. So practically I shown you. So any questions, any doubts? Yeah, tell me.
Question.
Yeah.
The target, if we don't know the target IP address and we are defining that 0.0.0.0, but how
Okay.
it will go to particular machine onto the target machine? How it will get?
Sorry. So one thing in the firewall, you are going to create a rules. Yes, it will go to the firewall. If you don't know the
Okay.
destination, network virtual appliance, it's going. Yes.
Yes.
So
It should
network virtual
virtual.
appliance, you should 1 minute. Let me complete it. In the network virtual appliance, you need to allow the traffic, the destination traffic, you need to allow it. So how it will know the means, suppose if you are traveling to any places, you know the destination, but you don't know the route. Yes.
Yes.
So you are defining in your mind some route, some destination. That is a destination you are defining as a 0.0.0.0. But in your data packets, like actually the background, data packets have destination IP address. Yes.
Yes.
So in the destination IP address wise, it will go to the firewall. That is the destination is allowing or not. It's going to check it in the firewall. If it is allowing means yes, the traffic it will route. It's outside of the organization or internal organization within the like on premises or Azure platform only. It will, if it is allowed that IP address, it will go the traffic and reach to the destination. If it is not defined in the firewall, it won't go the things, and firewall itself only it will block it. Understood? Got it? Any questions?
Okay.
Vinay, I hope you got the clear.
Yes, Kiran, somewhat I understand.
Somewhat. Okay. So one thing, suppose you are trying to reach the VM1, VM1 which mission 2, you are trying to connect to the NVA. Yes, you know the source and destination. That means that VM itself knows where the destination, where is the source. Is it right? First of all.
Yes, yes,
So that means the traffic is a flowing means it's in the data packets. In the normally packets is available. Yes. How it will communicate network? As per OSI standards,
it's
open system interconnect wise, how it will communicated? There is a layers. Layers means also that is a data packets wise it will created. Yes.
yes,
So data packets have the destination IP address range. Yes.
yes,
So that means it's a this data packets knows where is the destination, but the destination suppose VM2. Okay, but what we define it NVA, that means actually is a firewall suppose. So it's going to the firewall. In the firewall, suppose you are not creating any rule. So firewall by default it will block it as per firewall like functionality. Yes, it will block it.
yes,
But if you define the route, if you define the rule and should allow the traffic means that as per this one data packet it's checking, and firewall also it's check it data packet. What is the destination, your destination? So it will check it firewall, the destination packet wise, this is a so and so IP address. Okay, I'm allowing or not, it will check it network rule or application rule or DNAT rule, whatever it may be, depends on requirement, it will check it that rule. And accordingly checking and it's allowing means it will allow that send it the destination. So the destination it will reach to the that VM2. Yes.
yes,
In the firewall also will maintain the DNS. DNS also will maintain in the firewall. So what will happen? If it is a reach, this is a firewall, firewall DNS is available and name relation is happening here. Yes. Accordingly, where is my destination? It's a providing the destination is a DNS is a providing. Accordingly, through firewall, it's a communicating to the destination server. Understood?
yes. So here in this scenario, we know that the source machine is cloud machine, that is fine. But from the outside the cloud, that means from
Whatever
on-prem,
it may be, anything
okay,
also, it's over the internet. It's a communicating. Yes.
yes,
By default, from VM itself, we can able to access the internet. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Suppose I given the google.com. Okay, the traffic is going to the firewall. Firewall under itself application rule google.com it's allowing means the traffic will go to the outside google.com website. Yes,
yes,
Google server it will reach, and from the Google server again coming back, and same server private IP address here, and natting wise it will route the traffic to this VM. Yes, you are
yes,
getting the traffic. So end of the day, it's a depends on which rule you are creating, network rule or application rule or DNAT rule, which rule you are looking, and accordingly firewall is allowing or not, it's a checking. How it's a checking? Your data packet, each and every packet it's going to check it. It's any malicious traffic, any malicious IP address, any malware or anything it's available, immediately it will block it itself only here. Okay.
okay,
So if it is there is no rule means firewall itself only it will block it here.
hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Any more questions? Hopefully everyone Understand? Any questions, any doubts? Let me know. So generally the traffic, we are not going to define it. That data packets itself, it's a maintain. Otherwise, there is no destination, there is no IP address, or there is no anything, means how the traffic will go. Data packets itself only, it will maintain the source and destination, what type of protocol, what type of communication, what type of service needs to be communicated, everything it will maintain as a data packets in the background in the network. Okay, so that's about today UDR concept route table, guys. Any questions, any doubts, let me know.
No, Kiran, I don't have.
Real-time scenario.
Hmm.
Get the requirement.
Real-time scenario, already one scenario I mentioned. Yes, that what is a scenario I mentioned here. Example, here you can see I have hub and spoke, already I mentioned. So, but here my normally virtual machine directly it's a communicating to the VPN gateway to on-premises. On-premises also it's getting to the VPN gateway, and after that it's a communicating. I don't want each and every traffic is a secure. I don't want take it the any risk as per security standards. Each and every traffic go to the via VPN also. Here you can see under VPN subnet level also UDR is available. What traffic is getting VPN also, first go to the network virtual appliance, after that only it's a communicating. Even virtual machine workloads also UDR, each and every subnet will associate the UDR, and the traffic also go to the network virtual appliance, after that only VPN, after that only it will go to the outside. Okay, suppose you have public IP address of this virtual machine, even you are define the UDR, the traffic also first network virtual appliance, after that only go to the outside. So in this you are going to create a rule, it needs to be allow it or not. If you are not allow in the firewall, it won't communicate. This public IP address of virtual machine also it won't communicate it. Okay, understood? Any questions?
Oh, no.
In real-time scenario, this is a hub and spoke topology wise. Definitely we should use the UDR route tables. Definitely they will use the firewall or third party, any 1480 firewall, or it's a kind of checkpoint or something else they will use it.
Suppose if they ask, can
Suppose,
say this, you can say this examples, right?
yes, you can say this is an example. So real time, this is a real time only. Not an example, it's a real time. In my organization we are using like this, the traffic is flowing like this, we are associate the route tables like this. You can explain it, that's not a problem. Okay, any more questions, any doubts?
No, Kiran, I have only one.
Okay,
Like NSG, we are using for ports to be enabled on the subnets and the application level. We are using for NSG. Okay, like
okay,
which port and which is route table we are using for defining the routes to be flow to the particular machine, right?
yes, how the
Okay.
traffic is flowing, we are going to define it.
Yeah, yeah. I understand the difference, Kiran. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm good, my attend. Fine.
okay, great. Any more questions from anyone? Okay, silence means it's everyone, it's a clear. Good. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a nice day. We'll meet tomorrow and discuss about firewall. Okay,
Can
bye.
you upload Wednesday
Yeah,
and Thursday session, please?
Wednesday is not one day only. I need to upload it last week. Last week around 2 sessions only it's happened.
Okay.